We begin with major developments on the crisis in Syria. Top White House officials are making the case that the Syrian government used chemical weapons on its own people. Now, here's the latest. According to the Secretary of State, more than 1,400 people were killed in chemical attacks there. 400 of them were children. Secretary of State John Kerry says it was the Syrian government that is responsible. Now, President Obama says they're looking at a wide range of options in how to deal with Syria. Tonight, we're also learning that most of Rhode Island's delegation were briefed by White House officials on their intelligence. Target 12 investigator Tim White is here now with more. I know you met up with Senator Jack Reed today.
I did, and Mike, big decisions have to be made on Syria in the near future. And Reed points out, in a post-Iraq world, many are rightfully skeptical about the intelligence and how to respond.
The American intelligence community has high confidence.
Moments after Secretary of State John Kerry addressed the nation on Syria, select members of Congress were briefed in a conference call reviewing U.S. intelligence and possible reactions.
We have a lot of evidence that is pointing more and more towards a deliberate act by the Syrian government against their own population.
Senator Jack Reed, a member of the Armed Services Committee, says in the post-Iraq war world, there is skepticism on the intelligence coming out of Syria.
There's no doubt at all that the Syrians have chemical weapons, and it appears that they've been used. The question is, was this directed by the responsible levels in the Syrian government?
There's obviously a range of options that the president is considering right now.
Like Reed, Congressman Jim Langevin says he doesn't want to see the U.S. go it alone.
This should be an international effort response in consultation with our allies.
But one ally, Great Britain, announced it will not be a party to any possible military action in Syria.
Honestly, the British decision is not something that gives us momentum, because Parliament acted, and I think they acted because we're in a post-Iraq war.
Reed says if military action has to happen, it won't be with U.S. troops in Syria. He says it must be an offshore strike. Mike?
You know, Tim, we've heard Senator Reed's name come up before as a possible candidate for the president's cabinet. What kind of role is he playing in this situation now?
Well, it's important to point out that he's the #2 in the powerful Senate Armed Services Committee, and he's next in line to take over for that committee if the Democrats stay in power in the Senate. Now, President Obama has turned to Reed in the past on foreign affairs issues. In fact, in 2008, Obama brought only Reed and future Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel on his big trip to the Middle East when he was running for president. So Reed is clearly an influential voice on foreign policy.
All right, Tim, thank you very much.
Okay.
And you can count on Eyewitness News for continuing coverage of the crisis in Syria. We will have the very latest developments for you on Eyewitness News at 10 and 11, including an interview with a Syrian man living here in Rhode Island. Tonight, what action he'd like to see the United States take. You can also go to our website, WPRI.com.